stay till after Christmas, which was not the best thing to do, or want to do, but anyway, it was a good trip. And Linda went with me. She went to most of the time she was in a different city working with the church there. And she did very well. I got one opportunity to go with Wayne Crook. And some of y'all know Wayne. He's, how old is he, Clay?
Around 60. I don't know how old he is.
He's around 64 maybe. But anyway, he did crusades in Thailand back in the 80s and 90s. Did 90 crusades. And the people there, the Christians in Thailand, looked at him like we would look at Billy Graham. They respect him like that. And as I've met different people, when they met him, they just, were so honored to meet him, so glad he was back. And of course now he wants to be ministering to the Burmese people, which many are in Thailand. And so he had his first crusade after all this time to the Karen people in northern Thailand that have escaped from Burma. And we worked with this brother, and I think there were about 400 there. And I taught during the day, and he preached at night. And it was a wonderful opportunity, and seeing the Karen people are the ones that are in civil war with the Burmese government for over 60 years, the longest civil war in the history of the world. And they are Christians, and they have refused to cave in to the atheist murder government, and so many of them have had to flee to Thailand. But it was a very wonderful opportunity. And this brother that's the leader, Sam Chai, he is looking to see the Burmese people educated and trained in the Word, so that when the government changes in Burma, there will be people trained that can come in and run things and be in charge. And so he's wanting me to come back and do some teaching at a school he has there. And I'm trying to get him introduced to Maury Middleton also. So that was a great opportunity. And then went to a place, Mesai, where we had pastors from Burma and China to come, 3 different tribes, and our guide, Noah, he said this was just unheard of to get 3 tribes together. Last time we went to China to see the Li Su people in that valley, and 3 of them were able to come, and then about 20 Baptist Aka Burmese pastors and a few of their Korean. And we had a wonderful opportunity with them, and sharing with them and training them. And the Lord, one gift that I really appreciate from the Lord is to be able to make things simple, make them understood. And these people don't have a lot of education. And so, they really appreciate being able to make things simple. One fella, we had questions, and he said, many of us are pastors and we have families, and sometimes your family needs you. and sometimes the church needs you. What do you do? So I shared with them some things about these making choices and seeking the Lord and so forth. And when I finished, he said, I do not like your answer. He said, family or church? Tell me. And that's the way they look at so many things. It's just, this or that. Tell me what to do and I'll do it. And, so I said, this man's Bible, should I steal it? They said, no. I said, that's right. The Bible says, thou shalt not steal it. But it doesn't always tell us each move to make in each separate little thing, and I gave some examples. So, anyway, it was very, very interesting and being able to do that. And had many other opportunities for preaching. Was with Maury Middleton some down in more southern Thailand. And Thailand's usually very hot. This was the first, what they called real winter they had. It was like in the 70s in the day. It was a real winter. And then, but at night, it would get a little cool. And up there at that Korean meeting, we lived in a very primitive house. And I won't go into all the details, but when I was walking on that bamboo floor on the second story, I was a little nervous. I was looking through the cracks in the bamboo so I could stay on the beams. And then they had a fireplace for cooking food and everything right in the middle of the bamboo floor. That was interesting. But anyway, I had 8 blankets on that night in the bed and wished I'd had 10.